Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video I'm going to be going over a quick accumulation that I found on EURUSD. So I'm going to use a replay mode just so you guys can see what I was first watching. I was watching these equal lows being formed and I noticed this selling climax, a possible AR, and an up thrust. So what I did was drop down to the 5. Notice with everything I'm doing, please notice the time frames, you guys. So far, I went on the 15 and the 5, so this is lower time frame. You will not see me go to the daily and jump down to the 1 minute. So make sure you guys aren't jumping all over. People like to always say, oh, I'm refining my entry. And a lot of times, that's just not the case of what's happening. So with this, I noticed this possibly being a selling climax as it's giving us equal lows, which would make this your AR, which would make this your ST, which would make this your up thrust. So I noticed that we got more equal lows, and I would like to see if we got a spring. So with this, you can simply set your alerts to just be notified if it breaks these equal lows. But this right now is the trading range that I'm drawing. Okay, cool. So let's watch this play out. Okay, so we actually went above this without a spring. So right now, the schematic's invalidated, but I'm still waiting for a spring. So great, I get that spring. Now, I like to see if this has tapped in to a previous point of interest. Did this just fill a previous imbalance? So I'm just jumping on the higher time frame to get there quicker. Okay, cool. So we did generally tap into this point of interest and fill this gap here. And it's also 50% of an order block on the 4-hour time frame. So because I'm just looking at this area of where we filled, that's why I'm looking at all these time frames. But for our entry that we're still trying to figure out, let's get back to the lower time frame. So let me just go back into replay. Okay, cool. So we got our spring. Now let me go down to the 5 again, and I'm going to structure on how we got here before I break a structure. A lot of times I'm seeing break a structure after the point of interest, before the point of interest. Break a structures from the point of interest and before, so we know where we have to break. Okay, cool. So this is our breaker structure. This is our structure, sorry. So we either break here or here. So let's jump on the higher time frame and see which one looks cleaner. By higher time frame, I mean back to the 15. So mostly the 15 looks like a more visible place of structure we need to break. So let's see what happens when we break this structure. Okay, cool. We break that structure. We also break this structure. So, okay, great. So this is a break of structure. So let me make sure everything is labeled because now things kind of changed a bit. This is my spring. However, I'm kind of looking at this, and now I want to label this as my up thrust. Okay, I want this to be my second test, which generally makes this thing right here my AR. So sometimes you can start drawing schematics, and then once stuff happens, it can move. Okay, so generally speaking, though, we have the same thing over here. So now what am I looking for? I'm looking for an entry with a 50% retracement and a POI. So I see an imbalance and I see this kind of order block, but this is too wicky for me to be an order block. So let me just start with this imbalance. But it could be an imbalance. It still definitely could get tapped into. So let me see if I could find an entry and a stop loss where I can afford both. Okay, so on the 5 minute, we still have this imbalance down here, which is probably a piece of the order block. Let's jump back to the 15. And it is. So we still have this imbalance down here. So because we have imbalance here, here, and here, and an order block, it's a good chance that we are going to have a lot of unfilled price action down here that the banks are going to want to tap into. So let's bring this down to right here and see what that entry looks like, right? And the reason why we know this, or well, it's not even about knowing, but we don't have a choice. Our risk to reward is telling us that we can't even afford to be all the way up here. So if that was to get respected and it's a mistrade, it's a mistrade. But I only trade over 8.5s. Okay, so now we're almost at an 8. So let's jump to the 5 and see what we can get for a stop loss. So back to the 5. Notice how I didn't just jump to the 2 hour, 3 hour. Okay, cool. So let's shorten this up to here. So now we're at a 9.2. So you can stay at a 9.2. You can bring it to a 3.5, but that gives us 11. So I don't want to get too greedy, because if it does come here, I need a little bit of space for my spread. And a lot of people ask me if I count spread. I don't personally. The way I trade, I generally don't need to. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just telling you guys how I trade, you guys. Again, I'm not Richard. I'm just telling you guys what I do. Spread, you know, if you're in the right place, right time, you really don't need more than like a 6 pip stop loss. So anyways, so we still get respected for an entry that comes down here, but we're also going to pay attention to the fact that this is last down candle before the up move. So if we go to the 10-minute, right, 5, 10, 15, you guys, this is the last down candle before the up move. Sorry, I don't know why I'm all the way over there. Last down candle before the up move, which is, again, the last time the banks were selling before they injected buys into the market. So last down candle before that move is definitely something that is relevant when it comes to smart money. I just don't really... A lot of people can be in the wrong area and get too excited over the last down candle before the up move. So for me, this is like a last little confirmation. It's not something that tells me all this information about the market. Okay, so let's watch this play out. Really any drawdown. Oh, I didn't even continue it. So I'm actually in this trade. I hit take profit. I collected partials. My alert for partials was around here, I believe. So I did take partials. I only take partials, was still within my risk to reward. Okay, so my partials are still at an 8.5, right? I'm not partialing at a 1 to 5, or it's still not a 1 to 10. So at the time of this filming this video, I'm still in here with the partial, and this is pretty much the trade. So I hope you guys got value and understanding. Pretty much, this is how I trade, you guys, right? This is how I figure out my puzzle. This is how I switch things up. And hopefully you guys can just pick up pieces and tips. So I actually am having a free masterclass very soon, launching next month. So if you're in my free group chat, you'll definitely have first access to that. So definitely click the link in the bio to get access to my Telegram. And if you guys want to work with me one-on-one or just be a part of the Smart Money community, I do have a personal academy called the Smart Money Academy. The link to that will also be in the bio. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.